Hey, gang. Hey, I managed to get my Halloween guitar and rockabilly guitar back from that gorilla. It was a tough fight, let me tell you. And that gorilla could lay down some decent rockabilly. Well, not to be outdone, I thought I'd do a four-in-one rockabilly lick for you, if you will. It's a mega lick. There's four licks in one, and you can use them all separately, or you can put them all together. You can use two at a time. Works great over, this is over an E dominant chord, so an E7, an E9, E13. Any of those chords going to work great over, okay? So I'm going to do the demo first, and then we'll do it line by line. And yeah, that's about it. If you like this, why don't you give it the thumbs up? And if you haven't yet, subscribe for a couple of these every single week. And oh yeah, happy Halloween. All right, we'll see you after the demo. All right, gang, let's go over this now note for note. First things first, you can download the tab from the link below. It's going to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so, oh, and I'm using obviously a Gretschy style guitar, playing on a bridge pickup, and I've got some slap back echo on it. All right, so that's the sound. Let me let me play the whole thing, and then we'll break it down lick by lick. I'm going to play this somewhat slow, and then we'll break it down lick by lick. Some Bigsby action at the end. Okay, so let's break it down. First lick is a pretty standard lick. You can use this for accompaniment. Works great for that. Or simple solo lick too. Great for that. So here it is right here. It's in E, and it uses the minor to major movement, like here, the minor third to major third movement. So we're going to start out with the open E. Then we're going to play this minor to major by the G to the G sharp, and end up right here. So it's like this. Oops, I'm sorry. You hear how there's hesitation in that first? It's not. It's. So there's some hesitation on that first note, right? It's a dotted note for those of you who know that. Okay, that's great, and you can play some variations. Like, for example, this you can start from the low E on the sixth string on the way up, and then you can start from the E right here on the fourth string, second fret, and come down, but as long as you end up at this same place. Kind of sounds like shortening bread. I'll show you what I mean. Anyway, play around with that one. As long as you end up on that note, sounds really cool. All right, that's the first lick. All right, here's the second lick, and this one I'm most happy about. This is a lick, to my knowledge, is... I don't know anybody else who does this lick, so I thought it was a cool lick. But it is really super simple. It's this. When you play it up to speed, it sounds kind of like interesting. Guy knows what he's doing. It's really neat. He uses double stops. I always like that. Here's all the idea is. Okay, so if you know your forms of caged, here is an E chord. That's an E chord in the C form. Okay, so if you take your C chord right here, that Bigsby isn't helping the tuning. There we go. So this is the C right here, right? And I'm going to move this up to the E. Here's a whole step, that's a D. Here's another whole step, that's an E, right? So 5th string, 7th fret is an E. And now I just play this chord. That's the same as the C chord right here, except I have to change my fingers around. But it's the same shape. Now, I had... Brian Setzer is kind of fond of doing the following, I noticed. And he does this with the whammy bar. Let me see if I can do it a little better. I can't really do it very well. I'm not Brian Setzer. But what he's doing is he's playing 2 strings at a time over a fixed chord. So I thought, well, if he can play it over a fixed chord, what if I take a simple lick and just play it in double stops? So one simple lick over a dominant is to go from the root to the flatted 7th by going down, like so. Now the flatted 7th is a D, right? If my root is an E, so I'm going, right? Sounds kind of bluesy, right? Which kind of defines at least part of the blues is that flatted 7th. It's a real key note. So I figured instead of just playing that, what if I played double stops trying to get to that over that E chord? And I started with this E chord, right? All right, so that's on this 5th string, the 7th, on the 4th string, the 6th. And I just played that double stop and then moved the top down to this by keeping the same form. And then I did the same thing over that E chord, but now just played the 4 and 3 strings, and then did the same thing, moved it down a whole fret chromatically. And then I did the same thing on strings 3 and 2. And then on 2 and 1. And you'll see that there's that D, there's that flatted 7th. So I thought, okay, that's not so bad. But what would make it a little bit better? Well, I could slide into it. That makes it sound a little bit cooler. And then I figured I could also play another sort of rockabilly or rock trick, and then that is either play like a ghost note or play open strings. And open strings work surprisingly well. Now it's good if you mute this. It doesn't matter if you play open strings as long as you're quick about it. It sounds good. So that's what I was doing right there. I'm sliding into each of these. It's just a cool little lick. I dig it a lot. And by the way, you can play it reverse and it sounds good too. That sounds good. Now, I also tended to just make it louder as the lick progressed, so I didn't start as loud. Just to emphasize that. All right, so that's that lick. Hope you enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed putting that one together. I like that lick a lot. Okay, here's the third lick. You slide into this up here, 1st string, 12th fret. Again, you want to make it a little bit syncopated, which I didn't do there. Okay, one more time. Here's the sound. Okay, so what is this? It's got a little bit of an outside sound, and that's because I'm using a diminished. It's actually a double diminished scale, but it's a diminished scale starting from this E, and basically the pattern is I'm playing the E, then a D, then the C sharp. All right, so So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 for your fingers on all of these frets, it would be 4. See, that's the E right there on the 12th fret of the first string. So that's how you know where to start it, right? And then you're going to play 4, 2, 1. Next string you're going to play 4, 3, 1. So it's not quite a blues scale, right? Okay, and then you're going to revert to the first string again, and you're going to go 4, 2, 1. So watch what this pattern is. I'll try and keep my fingers out. Oops, I'm sorry, I messed up already. Watch what it is. All right, at this point, I decided to break that and just go chromatically down from the 12th because that's a chord tone. All right, and that's it. So that's that pattern. If you want a bit of an outside sound, that's a nice one to get. As long as you end up on a chord tone, it's going to sound like you got it back in the pocket, man. Okay, so the last lick is also super useful. Here it is. And then I hit that 9th chord at the end. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. You know, we're just kind of filling in some notes on the normal blues scale. Oops. Instead of playing that, we're playing. So there's a lot of similarity between what we just did before and this one. So far, it's just 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. But now we're going to hammer onto the first, get that major minor. And then pentatonic minor from here on in. All right, so that's 2-0 on the 4th string. It's 2-0, 2-0 on the 5th, and then 3-0. But we're gonna just tweak that 3 just a little bit. And that one always sounds good. There are endless possibilities with, well, not endless, but close to them. So one thing I really like, one variation I really like is this one, which kind of reminds me of, Johnny Cash or something like that. But I love that. Sounds good. All right. Well, as I said, you can mix and match these things. So, for example, we could put the second one and the third one together, and that would be a great tag ending. Right? Or put these two together. Sounds good, right? All right, well, have fun with all 4 of these. Put them all together. Put 2 at a time. Learn them one. Do the variations. And just have a ball with it while you're eating some of the Halloween candy. All right, gang. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one. I like all of those licks. It's really fun to play this sort of thing, I think, and be creative about it. So I hope you enjoyed it. All right, until next time, we will see you on down the road, and happy Halloween again.